What up with it, baby?
Hey, tell him what you told me.
What I tell you?
What you doing it for?
Oh, promotion, baby.
All right.
What
So
you
I
mean?
ain't gotta
But
him
hey,
up,
but we should spar.
I ain't gotta him up.
We should spar.
Best. I want to show the world that I'm the best. After this fight, I want to be considered top 5 pound for pound fighter in the sport, and I can't wait to show it.
You said this week that you were in for a rude awakening when you get to 140. What do you think he's in for when he goes up against you?
I think he just don't realize how good I am. I think come fight night, he's going to realize that I'm going to take it to another level that he has never seen before. So if he's expecting the Lomachenko, the Josh Taylor fight to happen, it won't be that type of fight. Senior, tell him. We talking to Senior. We ain't talking to little dude over here. Senior.
Every fight is a different version of me.
I know.
And I love it because even the people out there don't know what they're going to get from me. And that's the beauty about it. He could be studying, he could be doing a lot of things, but he's not going to know till the day of the fight. So
Terence Crawford delivered a clear message to Teofimo Lopez, cautioning him not to underestimate Shakur Stevenson. He stressed that overlooking Stevenson or assuming the fight would be easy could prove to be a serious mistake.
Sky is the limit with Shakur. No, he got the boxing skills and the ability to, do whatever he wants in the ring. And it's going to be very hard to beat Shakur, with the skills that he possesses and the smarts that he has, and given the opportunity, I think he can pose a great threat to everybody in the division.
I look up to Bud a lot. Honestly, he one of the realest dudes that I done met. He's still a normal person in his head. Like, he don't believe that he's above everyone else. That's how I feel about myself.
You seen me around a lot.
Oh, no.
Don't act like you ain't seen me around.
Them days.
He said that.
Bud, come on. Terence talking, I try not to talk back. I try to just listen and
Straight boom. Straight shot. Like right here. Boom. There you go. But you got to make sure you step. Bam. That's when the motherfucker trying to run out.
Terence Crawford pointed out that Shakur Stevenson's sense of timing, accuracy, and high-level ring awareness make him a dangerous opponent for anyone competing at the elite level. He noted that Stevenson's defensive style isn't just about avoiding punches. It's also built to set traps that lead to quick and precise counterattacks. Crawford warned that if Teofimo Lopez fights carelessly or throws punches without control, Stevenson has the skill to capitalize on those mistakes, potentially causing serious damage and even ending the fight with a knockout.
I'm gonna just say all of them. It don't matter who they is. He ready for the big test and the big names, and he's gonna do well with each and every one of them. And
in another moment, Terence Crawford spoke directly to Teofimo Lopez, leading to a noticeably tense exchange. He challenged Lopez about his mindset and the way he was approaching a potential fight with Shakur Stevenson. The conversation carried a firm tone, as Crawford made it clear that overlooking Stevenson's abilities could lead to serious consequences when they eventually face each other in the ring. Terence Crawford expressed strong confidence that Shakur Stevenson will fully showcase his abilities when the moment arrives. He pointed out that Stevenson's discipline, accurate timing, and smart defensive awareness distinguish him from many other top-level fighters. According to Crawford, once Stevenson gets the chance to perform on the big stage, people will clearly see his technical skill, patience, and control inside the ring, demonstrating why he is considered one of the most complete boxers in the sport today.
Excellent. He was sharp. He was letting his hands go. He was standing in the pocket more. He probably got hit just a little bit too much because he was trying to please everybody that's saying, oh, he can't do this, he can't do that. I talked to him and told him, just be yourself. Just keep winning. It doesn't matter what the naysayers say and what the people that's having certain agendas against them.
Dan Kinabayo and Chris Algieri examined the potential Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson fight from both the promotional and competitive angles. They explained that since Matchroom is managing the Joshua event, the chances of a crossover bout involving PBC are very slim. The analysts also mentioned that if Lopez were to lose, Stevenson would likely stay in the 140-pound division instead of moving back down to 135, noting that fighters rarely drop back to a lower weight class after stepping up. They described the 140-pound division as one of the most active and talent-filled categories in boxing today. Kinabayo and Algieri further observed that Stevenson usually faces fewer problems against aggressive brawlers, while technically skilled counterpunchers tend to present tougher challenges for him. Because of that dynamic, they suggested that certain matchups fans talk about often may be less likely to take place.
For the Joshua card, so therefore we're not going to put a PBC fighter on it. Anyway, Gary Antoine, I mean, all these fights are good. Like, if Teofimo ends up losing to Shakur goes into this mix, and I do think Shakur will stay at 140 for a little bit. So, and you also have
I think he stays from now on. I don't think he goes back to 35.
Yeah, it's very rare we see these guys go down after they go up. You got to add in Shakur. You got to add in Pitbull Cruz. You got to add in Lamont Roach. There's some other good names on 140 as well. But yeah, I would say Smith presents something to this puzzle at 140 is that he's from England and he can sell over there. And if you're Hitchens, who's not the biggest ticket seller here in New York, and you want a unification, and you think you can beat Dalton Smith, you might have to go overseas to do it, where you could make a lot more money. Gary Antoine Russell versus Smith stylistically is great. Shakur versus Dalton Smith is stylistically great. Shakur, it's just a fun division.
I don't want to see that.
What?
I don't want to see Shakur and Dalton.
I put that one at like 1% chance of ever happening.
I don't want to see that.
Even though, like, you don't think Smith presents like he's more of like would be the brawler in the Shakur scenario? I know he would be.
Yeah, that's the worst style to fight Shakur. It's the worst style. You have to counterpunch Shakur, just like with De Los Santos. He was the guy who gave Shakur the most trouble.
Yeah, but Zepeda gave Shakur the best, most aesthetically pleasing fight, but not that Smith's going to throw 100 punches around.
Completely different style, though. Zepeda and Dalton aren't. You can't compare them. That's apples and oranges. Yeah, no, I don't know.
But in terms of a guy coming forward.
But is Dalton really that guy?
Analysts believe that physical dimensions could have a meaningful impact in a potential matchup between Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez. Stevenson possesses a naturally longer build, wider shoulders, and a stable stance inside the ring. Although Lopez currently competes at this weight class, Stevenson's move up has not affected his strength or composure, and he appears fully settled at 140 pounds. Experts explain that size involves more than just the number on the scale. It also includes leverage, balance, and how efficiently a fighter uses their physical attributes. Stevenson's reach, height, and calm approach allow him to control distance and set the rhythm of a fight. Lopez, on the other hand, relies on explosive bursts of power, which can be harder to land against a disciplined opponent with greater physical range. If Stevenson uses his frame to manage space, apply pressure through positioning, and gradually tire Lopez, the overall momentum of the fight could shift considerably.
Shakur Stevenson is bigger than Teofimo Lopez, despite him moving up in weight, and despite Teo being the champion. We got some action, and in this video I'm going to show and prove and break it down. I'll make it make sense in this video. You got to stay to the end. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Ego Weight Watchers, aka EW, where I give you a look into the fighter's lifestyle before, after, progress pics, especially when they have an upcoming fight. I warned you, Shakur, I have no idea why he tried to play this game where when people got on his...
Boxing analyst Bernie provided a detailed explanation of why Shakur Stevenson could be a difficult opponent for Teofimo Lopez. He emphasized that Stevenson is not a fighter who can be taken lightly or easily controlled in the ring. Rather than relying on pure power or single strategy, Stevenson combines technical ability with strong tactical awareness, which makes his style difficult to predict. Bernie pointed out that many opponents misinterpret Stevenson's calm and measured approach, assuming it reflects a lack of aggression. However, he explained that this composure actually allows Stevenson to study his opponent carefully and adjust his tactics during the fight. By reading situations quickly and responding at the right moment, Stevenson is able to take advantage of any opening that appears. According to Bernie, this balance of patience, timing, and ring knowledge gives Stevenson a meaningful edge when facing fighters such as Teofimo Lopez, opponents who must deal with not only his talent, but also his disciplined and carefully executed strategy.
But he couldn't beat a one-handed guy. And if you go back and watch that fight, like I'm saying, Shakur wasn't just running. Jermaine Ortiz really moved a lot on Teo. That never happened with Shakur Stevenson and fighting this guy. That never happened. So De Los Santos is De Los Santos. He got a reputation off of that. That boosted his reputation. I don't know why. He didn't do nothing to Shakur. He didn't wobble him, didn't hurt him, didn't do nothing. You know what I mean? And the man was one-handed. So, but shout out to De Los Santos. Like I say, I think he's more risk than reward. Actually, that'll be a great fight for Abdullah Mason in his first title defense. That'll be a great fight for him in his title defense. That'll be a good. They should use him for that
instead of Joe Cordina.
Yeah, Joe Cordina was rough too, though. I watched him against the kid from Fresno. What's the kid's name? I forget his name. They was pushing him, but he just ain't there. He took a lot of punishment. He probably need to go get a job. Gabriel Flores. Gabe Flores. Yeah, Gabe Flores. Yeah. He from Fresno, or he from Sacramento. He from the Bay Area.
He just be training. Yeah, he be training.
Yeah. So I would say I would say that, you know what I mean? Because Abdullah Mason is the guy. I think he got a lot of potential. And like I said, him fighting a guy like De Los Santos is almost like a Bud fighting Gamboa in his first title defense. You know what I mean? So that would be a great fight for Abdullah Mason. You know what I mean? And he's more known than Joe Cordina. You know what I mean? And given the controversy that he's been in, you know what I'm saying? The way he's perceived as kind of feared, that'll be a great fight for Abdullah Mason.
Damn, my boy Bernie said that's like Gamboa versus Crawford for his first title defense. That shit is fire.
Yeah.
Terence Crawford shared a supportive and respectful view of Shakur Stevenson, describing him almost like a younger brother in the sport. He acknowledged that some fans label Stevenson's style as boring, but explained that this perception ignores the real level of skill involved in his approach. According to Crawford, Stevenson's control inside the ring is quiet yet highly effective. He manages the tempo of a fight, makes calculated decisions, and maintains strong defensive positioning while taking advantage of his opponent's mistakes. Crawford emphasized that dedicated boxing followers understand the craft behind Stevenson's style. Rather than focusing on dramatic knockouts or flashy moments, his success comes from accuracy, defensive discipline, and measured aggression. In Crawford's view, anyone who overlooks Stevenson's ability is missing the true quality of his talent.
I got Shakur. Are you saying that because that's your man and you don't like Tank?
No. Hey, like I said, I respect Tank. Boxing, he's one of the ones.
Yeah.
We're gonna take his personality and personal things out of it. But boxing, he's definitely talented.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's definitely got that it. And he's definitely respected in boxing. But Shakur is a different fighter. Shakur is different. People may call him boring. People may say he can't punch. But they say the same thing about Floyd. Because they defensive.
Former champion Shane Mosley shared his perspective by focusing on how the fighters' styles could influence the result. He explained that the key factor will be how each boxer's approach plays out once they step into the ring. Elements such as power, speed, and patience will all play an important role, and the interaction of these traits will likely determine who gains the upper hand. Mosley noted that the patient and controlled style of Shakur Stevenson can be effective against aggressive opponents. At the same time, he pointed out that the explosive power and sharp timing of Teofimo Lopez present a real challenge, even for disciplined fighters. In Mosley's view, the outcome will depend on which boxer can successfully apply their strategy while adapting to the other's strengths. That balance of preparation, adjustments, and ring awareness could turn the contest into a true test of both skill and tactical thinking.
Shakur Stevenson's going to get slower moving up in weight or not, where Teofimo can hit him. Maybe he was really fast at 130, 26-30, maybe 35, but 40, you put on a little bit more weight. Shakur Stevenson has a very strong style where he can sit back and pot shot you and box and stuff like that, where Teofimo can also box and is very athletic and can get from side to side and can make things difficult for you as well. So what style is going to impose on the other is what we want to see.
So which style will impose? Is it something where like the first rounds really will dictate, or?
I think you're going to need a couple of rounds, but the first round is going to be very interesting. Maybe you see some tails, but I think maybe 2 or 3 you're going to start seeing one leave the other. Because I don't think that, well, maybe, I mean, Shakur might show some different, if he has to go after Teofimo, he might show some different type of heart that we haven't seen or different type of fighting we haven't seen. And vice versa, you know, whereas Teofimo's hitting him with different shots off the angle that is kind of giving, you know, Shakur Stevenson trouble. We'll see about that.
Analyst Wade examined the fight by focusing on preparation and strategy. He noted that both Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson have likely spent significant time studying each other's techniques. Given their similar trajectories in both amateur and professional boxing, this familiarity, Wade explained, makes the ability to adapt quickly and counter effectively a critical factor. He highlighted that both fighters have the technical expertise to execute complex strategies, turning the matchup into a tactical battle. In his view, minor adjustments and split-second decisions could ultimately decide which boxer gains the advantage and emerges victorious.
That are about to fight each other, there's probably not guys that know how they operate better. So if Teo is saying, I'm going to go out there and make you quit, essentially break you and stop you, that's something we haven't seen anyone get close to even hurting Shakur, really. Like, people say the Williams-Zepeda fight, Zepeda hit him with the right hand and Shakur got wobbled, even though it was clearly slipped. I thought that was one of Shakur's better performances because he dug down and bit down on his mouthpiece and said, I'm not just going to play the back foot and be slick and turn this into a very low output fight that I'll win because I'm just, you know, he's better than Zepeda. But he went out there and dogged it out a little bit, and I respected him for it. I don't expect him to fight the same way versus Teofimo Lopez. I really don't. And I think people are looking at the Zepeda fight and going, yeah, that's Shakur we want. And I don't want to say he's going to disappoint people, but he will not fight that way with Teo. He won't. And Teo won't fight the same way Williams Zepeda did. They'll both be very measured. I think it'll be a very slow-paced, low-output fight. I could be wrong. You know, I could be wrong. I could see maybe they go to war or something, but we're talking about styles making fights, and Teo's style, even if he's on his front foot, he doesn't commit to a lot of punches on the front foot, but he can fight that way. Shakur almost exclusively wants to go defense to offense versus leading the exchange. So I don't know, not to say Shakur will be on the back foot the whole time. That's not necessarily how I see the fight going, but I don't know if this is going to be like a knockdown, drag him out type of thing. I think we're going to get a defensive, sweet science display from both guys, which, by the way, I think works in Shakur's favor.
You said on there that Terence Crawford sent one of his little guys to come after you, implying that obviously you want.
Lamont Roach highlighted Shakur Stevenson's outstanding mastery of the ring, emphasizing his precise footwork, flawless timing, and keen ability to anticipate opponents' actions. These strengths allow Stevenson to dictate the pace and flow of a fight. Roach explained that controlling the ring is more than just moving around. It requires creating angles, maintaining balance, and setting traps to exploit openings. Stevenson's skill in these areas enables him to conserve energy while guiding opponents into less favorable positions. By managing distance and timing with such precision, he can apply consistent pressure on fighters like Teofimo Lopez without exposing himself to unnecessary danger. This level of strategy and technical proficiency is a major reason Stevenson is regarded as one of the most intelligent and technically advanced boxers in the sport today.
Some people thought he lost to Sandor Martin. Who else?
He did beat Loma, who's arguably at the time considered one of the best in the world.
He did, and that was a hell of a performance too. A hell of a performance too. So yeah, I mean, I think he's hit or miss. You got to think he got stuff. He a little cuckoo too. Like he has like a little mental lapses every once in a while. Look at the Kambosos fight. Like, that's a fight that people would never expect Kambosos to win, and he won a grueling match against him as well. So I just I don't know. I don't think he can get it done against Shakur when it comes to like because it's going to be just a skill match. I don't think he's going to try to rough Shakur.
Molina G offered his take on how Teofimo Lopez is perceived ahead of major fights. He observed that Lopez frequently faces criticism and is sometimes underestimated, particularly when matched against a high-profile fighter like Shakur Stevenson. Melina G explained that this difference in public attention and reputation can influence media narratives, but it doesn't diminish Lopez's actual skill. Instead, it introduces an extra psychological dimension for both fighters to navigate. Given the high stakes, Stevenson's technical mastery, combined with Lopez's drive and determination, sets the stage for a fiercely competitive matchup. Success will hinge on meticulous preparation, precise execution, and mental resilience, all of which could determine who comes out on top.
Because Teofimo is at his most dangerous when he's counted out. And this is going to be one of those fights where he's going to be counted out. Because Shakur is looked at by and large as the guy who can dominate boxing in this generation, right? It's just a matter of him getting the opportunity. I myself have felt that he's the guy who could and should be dominating boxing if he gets the right matchups. But bro, this is one of the rare matchups, if not maybe the only matchup, where I feel like it's a big threat here to Shakur. And then they would all come undone because of this reason. Teofimo Lopez, we've seen him at his best, but he typically brings out his best characteristics when he's back to the wall and he's counted out. And he's going to be counted out in this fight. By and large, people are going to side with Shakur in this fight to win the fight because he's the more consistent fighter, he's the more class fighter overall, and he's just so...
That's a wrap for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates, and we'll see you in the next episode.